I now come to the Shadow Minister, Dame Harriett Baldwin.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. Soggy poppadoms, buses, a lot of whiskey, pottery, bricks, some Galloway cheddar and even an aircraft carrier promoting whiskey. Those are some of the colourful items that were mentioned in this debate which really bring to life the impact across all our constituencies of this UK-India Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement. And so it's a pleasure to close today's debate on the UK-India Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement, which forms part of the process that Parliament has adopted of constitutional reform and governance, whereby we spend 21 sitting days scrutinising this particular agreement. And despite the fact that there are other things happening in this building this evening that I think have perhaps distracted some of the attention, particularly on the government benches, I think we have heard that this is an agreement that has a lot of significance. In particular, in my closing remarks, I want to draw attention to a very excellent and detailed speech from my honourable friend, the member for the Weald of Kent, who highlighted some of the potential incentives or the economic incentives that will exist as a result of this agreement in terms of employment of British people versus Indian people to do the same jobs here in the UK. And I'm interested to hear the Minister elaborate his answer to those particular points. And in addition to my honourable friend, the member for Dumfries and Galloway, who raised an important issue around dairy, because while it is the case that today there are no licences for dairy products, as I understand it, coming into the UK from India, that could, of course, change in the future. And it will be interesting to see what process the government would adopt to address that. Now, as my right honourable friend said in his opening speech, free trade is a key belief on these benches, and that is why we pursued the trade agreements with the EU, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, Norway, Iceland, Liechtenstein, and of course the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership. And indeed it was predecessors in the predecessor government who laid the groundwork for the agreement that we see before us today, and rightly acknowledged in many speeches this evening that it represents a Brexit dividend, the ability to pursue an independent trade policy and to deepen our relationship with one of the world's fastest growing economies. But recognising that that achievement doesn't mean that we can ignore the areas where the agreement falls short. Many of those points were raised by others in this debate. The chair of the Business and Trade Committee made the point that the government risks undermining the benefits of the agreement through its planned 40% cuts to UK export staff. And so I'm going to give the opportunity to the Minister once again to reconfirm to the House that the cut in export support staff does not include staff in India who will be working on the implementation of this deal. The House of Lords International Agreements Committee report highlights the stark disparity in this agreement between goods and services. And for a country whose economy is so overwhelmingly services-based, this imbalance does matter. There isn't any meaningful advance in this agreement on mutual recognition of qualifications, with the deal placing a 36-month target for conclusion on this. But I ask the Minister, what will happen if no agreement is reached within that 36-month period? And as my right honourable friend highlighted, the sequencing of market access is deeply asymmetric, with many Indian exporters gaining from immediate tariff reductions here, while UK exporters face phased access and quotas. A striking omission is that of legal services. The House of Lords International Agreements Committee again said, and I quote, "We view this as a missed opportunity given that legal services comprise a strategically important and growing sector of trade, both in their own terms and relation to supporting trade in other sectors." As others have noted, another concerning omission is the absence of any investment protection. The bilateral investment treaty that was expected to be agreed at the same time remains undelivered. And I'd like to hear from the Minister if he can confirm for UK firms investing in India what his plans and deadline are for implementing an agreement along those lines. When we compare this agreement with the EU-India Free Trade Agreement, the contrast is quite clear. They managed to achieve a full investment protection agreement, and their investors will have a stronger legal certainty than their UK competitors. On agriculture products, my honourable friend was absolutely right to highlight the concerns that farmers have about dairy being an issue in the future. So again, I give the Minister the opportunity to offer to the farmers up and down this country the assurances they would need in terms of the effect that these provisions might have on them in the future. But finally, I think we must address again the double contribution convention. We don't know very much detail about it, but we do know that Indian workers posted to the UK will pay no national insurance, nor will their employers. And at the very same time that British businesses have been asked to shoulder increased national insurance contributions, it's hard to see how ministers can defend a framework that makes it cheaper to hire from abroad than to employ a worker here at home. So can the Minister explain why the government has created a two-tier tax system in which British businesses pay more in national insurance while the employers hiring workers from India pay nothing at all? And what will he do if he sees British workers losing out in large numbers when this measure does come into force? So in conclusion, Madam Deputy Speaker, this deal is a welcome opportunity for British exporters to explore new markets, but one with many missed opportunities in areas where the UK should be leading and not lagging. The task now is to ensure that this agreement becomes a foundation and not a ceiling. So will the government treat it as a living agreement, return to the negotiating table, deliver the services access, investment protections and sectoral safeguards that British businesses and workers deserve? And what are the metrics and the milestones that we here in Parliament can use to continue to hold the government to account to accept its role in the implementation of this agreement?
Come to the Minister.